Hey guys, Philosopher here, and today we're going to show off Infinity Watch in War against Heroes for Hire. This is the matchup we've all been waiting for. Obviously, this is a punch down. This is the biggest Heroes for Hire I could find today. It's another Diamond Alliance has this in their armory. It's the best I could do today. It's obviously quite a bit of a punch down because I have quite a large Infinity Watch, but let's have some fun with it. Anyway, it's a G15 Ghost, G14 rest of the team. They all got level 4 ISO. Let's just have some fun and try it out. Here we go. Let's give it a try. See how we do it. Let's have some fun. So you got to focus on Colleen. I really think this team, by the way, is going to just completely overwhelm Heroes for Hire. That's what I would expect because they're just so strong. So I think what we're going to do, so this clears death proof from all enemies. I think we want to do that. It's interesting. I think it didn't seem to clear the death proof. So, oh well. Wow, right? That immunity really helps us. She's going to dodge and dodge. Okay, so now the ability block on Colleen Wing, and look at that disrupt on Luke Cage. Super powerful. All right, now we will do that. I did that there just so we could get the extra. We could hit another enemy. Okay, so now let's rewind Colleen. So as you can see, this is very different than, usually the teams were focused on like, we're focused on, preventing revives. But here, the goal is simply just outlast this enemy. So I'm not even that worried about Ghost, but we might as well just kill Ghost here. Because why not? Like I said, not really that worried about Ghost. Once Colleen goes down, this team's pretty easy. So now let's stun Misty. And we got to resist on Iron Fist. It's just the team overpowers Heroes for Hire. That's really what this team does. They're just so good that basically means it's game over, just because they can out-sustain them. They can out-damage their sustain too. It's just insane, right? It's not even really a contest. Now, obviously, this is a significant punch down. I don't know how much this would matter if it was a 700K team, though, guys. Just to be real. I mean, yes, this is the biggest that I could find. I was waiting for what was going to be an armory. I figured that would be pretty big. So this is the best I could do here. But you could just see how devastating this is. Now, I will show you after this what the team looks like, what the T4s are, what the ISO setup is. We'll do all that after here so you could see. But this is as expected. This is just amazing. I got it on auto now, by the way. Just who cares? All right, let's take a look at it. I told you guys, by the way, with Heroes for Hire, I really encourage you. I said, unless you're a super endgame player who's been done with DD4 for months and is like in a super endgame and really into war, don't build this team because they're just going to get countered very soon. Well, there you go. So let's take a look now. And I want to go back to my roster here for a second and show you my team. And I'm going to talk a little bit about where they fit in war. So this is my Infinity Watch team. I've got them all at level 3 blue ISO. I've been doing a lot of raiding. And then I've got all the T4s in Gamora. All the T4s in Adam Warlock. All but one on Philovel, all but the special. The special and the passive on Moondragon. And I got the ultimate and the passive on Nebula. Now, let me talk to you a little bit about these T4s. Give you some initial impressions. I think with Gamora, and let's go to the empowered version here because this is what it's going to be like in the full team. This one you're going to want, right? You want the crit chance, you want the piercing, but the real reason you want this one is for non-empowered. She's going to fill speed bar, clear negative effects, right? So you're going to want that. here, I mean, the value here is just purely to get this 100% speed bar more often, right? And it's pretty big damage. I actually think the next one you want after the passive is you want the basic, because not for the 40% damage, but for the bleed. So anytime a character has a bleed, you get a higher multiplier on the damage if you put a T4. And so you just always want that. So I'd say on the basic, plus she's going to be a striker, and doing that, that's going to help the ISO. This one I think is nice. This is available turn 1, and heal block for 2 turns is nice. Plus 80% to all enemies. In a raid or Dark Dimension, it's going to be against a lot, even against in war or something or arena that's 5 enemies. I think the least important one is the ult, but I think it's nice for the damage. When we go to Adam Warlock, I think the passive is super nice because it just makes him that much harder to kill. When he drops to a 20% health, you gain 2 deflect, which stacks on top of something like defense up. And then 10% max health to the whole team. I think the next one for him is the basic for the same reason, the bleed. I think is just very nice on the multiplier. And then after that, I think this one's just a nice to have, so I'm not really that concerned about the 70%. But I think this one is more helpful because disrupted for 2 turns and enemy protectors is nice. But it's only 120% damage. So I think, it's the passive, then the basic, then the special, then the ultimate on him. For Phyla-Vell, the passive is absolutely necessary, increasing drain by 25% for allies with death proof, absolutely, and then 10% damage to the whole team. That's an absolute necessity. And then here, offense up for 2 turns, defense up for 2 turns is huge. I think that's really nice. The thing is, you don't use this until the second turn, so that's that's one issue there, right? And then, that one it's a nice to have, I suppose, but boy, having 2 turns is for a long fight's really good. And then here, this I think is just a nice to have as well. I think these 2 are just nice to have. So I really think, the passive is the only maybe necessity here. I'm still working on this list. It's not final. I think the passive is really, really helpful here to have 20% focus and resistance is just very nice. I mean, unless, if you got a massive team and they've power crept everything, maybe you can get away with it. I think ordinarily if you're using this team in like arena or something, having this is going to be more important than, this will be the second one you'll do, maybe even should be the first, because you're going to use this turn 1, reducing the speed bar is nice, the damage. And then, on a long fight and raids or something like that, this is really nice to get the extra healing. The basic is more of a nice to have, just getting extra damage for the controlled character. Nebula, the passive is really important, I think, to have her assisting all the time. It's just a lot of extra damage. And then there's some debate here. I'm still haven't 100% figured it out. I like the ultimate because you get more chain and you get more damage to all these different targets. I think it's really nice, especially if you're obviously in a raid or DD4 setting or something like that. Some people really swear by this. I've gotten some people telling me that getting additional 5% on her max health is nice. It does not benefit her ISO attack at all, and she's going to be a skirmisher, so I'm not so sure. But obviously, would be very nice on, let's say, Dark Dimension. We're going to do some testing on that later. This, I think, is just a nice to have. That's nothing necessity. So I think that's our team. This is the ISO setup I'm using right now. I think Moondragon could be a striker as well, because the reason this works is Nebula is assisting 100% of the time. So, when she assists, it's almost like that interaction between Black Widow and Hawkeye or Corvus and Proxima. You get that triple tap. The reason I have Moondragon as a healer is she's got 2 different heals, and so it helps that. And, her ISO attack isn't all that great, but I'm not sure yet. I'm still, not 100% convinced of what the right ISO is, but this is what I'm running right now. Obviously, working really well for me in war, and needless to say, Heroes for Hire is going to be easily countered by Infinity Watch. This reminds me a lot of the early days of Black Order. They were just unstoppable in war, and so the question was, do you run them on offense or defense? If you run them on defense and the other side runs them on offense, they have an advantage because they can just punch up on your Infinity Watch in a mirror match. If both sides run them on defense, it's going to be a long slog fest of a war. And if both sides run them on offense, then it's going to be a quick clear on both sides. All right, guys, if you like this video, smash that like button, subscribe to this channel. Check out if you have any thoughts, give me your thoughts below or put them on our Discord. And also check out our Twitch stream. That's linked below as well.